Let's read another excerpt. The Food Business Incubator. La Cocina means the kitchen in Spanish. It's also the name of a business incubator based in San Francisco's Mission District. Since it began in 2005, it's been helping local food entrepreneurs, many of whom are low-income immigrant women, develop their small businesses. Okay, so we're introducing here La Cocina and what it does. It's a business incubator helping women generally who are low income immigrants, and they help them develop their businesses, okay, related to, I guess, food, basically. 2, over the years, many of its alumni have found success. So a core idea there that it's produced successful results. More than 50 chefs in this program have become self-sufficient business owners, and many of them opened their own brick-and-mortar restaurants. 2 alumni of the culinary program were even recognized as semi-finalists for James Beard Awards. A new cookbook, We Are La Cocina, Recipes in Pursuit of the American Dream, tells some of their stories, right? So again, there's some measure of success or importance because they actually produced a cookbook, it looks like. 4, Executive Director Caleb Zegas says the nonprofit La Cocina, so here we learn it's a nonprofit, grew out of grassroots economic organizations. So we're learning about, we've been introduced to La Cocina, how it's been successful, and now we're figuring out or learning how it developed. People who found cooking at their homes and selling food on the streets. The vendors need an affordable commercial kitchen space and technical assistance in order for their businesses to be legally viable. La Cocina provided just such a space in addition to helping them develop business plans, pull city permits, and more. So they're not simply helping them cook, they're helping them build their businesses with all sort of legal planning and other approaches as well. 5, Zegas says as many as 8 businesses can work in the kitchen space at La Cocina at any one time. Some can prep for a farmer's market sale, corporate catering gigs or weddings, while others might making and packaging their food products. So now they're telling us kind of how it works at La Cocina, right? Not just how it developed, but what actually happens there. 6, it's just an incredible and exciting range of techniques, flavors, perspectives, age, language, and it's a beautiful thing, he says. Twice a year, La Cocina hosts F&B Voices from the Kitchen, a storytelling project where the chefs can tell their own stories they do in the new cookbook. Some of the chefs will be on tour to promote their book, whose proceeds will go to support La Cocina entrepreneurs. NPR caught up with La Cocina chefs who shared their stories. So note we've got a section head, Mariko Grady, Iden Fermented Foods. This is going to be one of the stories of one of the businesses that developed out of La Cocina, where apparently they can do their cooking in this sort of community kitchen and also get sort of legal and other entrepreneurial advice. At La Cocina, you can often hear Mariko singing or humming as she prepares miso, koji, and amasaki. Her fermented products come in 4 different flavors, including mushroom and chicken, to be used in soups and sauces. She originally brought the fermenting rice and barley koji seeds from Japan, where she had a 30-year career as a singer and dancer with the prestigious modern theatrical dance group she founded. Okay, so she's got a pretty sort of fresh, interesting product that's described in detail. It's not just going down to the store and buying some goods. And it also tells us or introduces us to the idea she had a dance background. She wasn't just a chef or wanted to be a food business owner all her life. They performed around the world 16 years ago at a one-night show in San Francisco. The man had become her husband in an audience, offered turning to rehearse. But, contrasting transition, after the earthquake and tsunami hit Japan in 2011, her company disbanded. Grady focused on nourishing her family and creating a line of fermented products that she sells online at local Bay Area stores and the Ferry Plaza farmer markets. She began at La Cocina in 2012. So she has a product she is selling. This is a business. It's not just something she's hoping to create. She began at La Cocina in 2012 and named her business after her son, Aidan, written kanji characters. That name means wisdom and handed down from generation to generation. Her fermented products are also full of wisdom about how to relate to nature and how to create a healthy life, she says. Okay. So again, trying to pick up here kind of the details of what makes her stand out as a member of La Cocina. Here would be another one, Shawnee Jones, Peaches Patties. Shawnee Jones is a native San Franciscan. Her father was born in New Orleans, her mother in Jamaica. She says their home was always filled with a variety of spices and dishes like jerk chicken, Jamaican patties, savory pastries filled with beef or chicken. Jones says she learned to cook from her mother, whose nickname was Peaches. After returning from college in Atlanta, Jones worked on her doctorate in organizational leadership and management while driving a Lyft car. She often told passengers about her idea of opening a catering company with her mom's recipe. Okay, so she's educated, she's motivated. They steered her to La Cocina, where she developed her own business named after her mother. 5 years later, she caters and runs a kiosk at a small food cooperative in Bernal Heights, where some of her handmade patties have an Ethiopian twist, because my husband is Ethiopian. So she's bringing a cultural food, again, similar to our last example, to the Bay Area with her business. Jones has big aspirations for Peaches Patties. The ultimate goal, she says, is to be the patty kingpin of the West Coast. Okay. So that's the end. And we've got, well, in this case, we have a table, qualifications for La Cocina applicants. So remember, as every paragraph in a passage has its own idea, so does every chart, figure, table. They have their own idea. What is this? It's outlining qualifications for La Cocina applicants. Level of income, business plan, you must have a plan, a viable product, not just a pie-in-the-sky wish, hard work ethic, community spirit. These are kind of things that seem to be in the examples given within the passage for each one of them. Okay, so each tells its own story. What kind of person would go to La Cocina or want to apply? All right, well, let's just review what we learned from the passage. The topic is La Cocina, a food business incubator. What it does that's really unique is it helps immigrants, people who don't have the means necessarily, but they have the work ethic and the desire and the product to actually succeed in a food business. It helps them get going, not just cooking and providing location, but for legal and other entrepreneurial services as well. Obviously, the way the passage is developed is that we're introduced to La Cocina, and then we see it's had successful members, and then we get an outline of what exactly it does and how it works day to day within their kitchen, and then we get two pertinent examples of people from La Cocina. So armed with this, let's take a look. And by the way, it's generally written, looks like from a sort of third person observer informing us about La Cocina, who kind of has, seems to have a relatively positive attitude toward the program. So with that, let's try to answer the questions.